Squid Game Season 2 is finally out on Netflix, boys. And you bet I binge watched all of it last night. I binge watched every single episode back to back. Let me just get this straight off the bat. It's not as good as Season 1, but damn, is this still a good show, man, because I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. For example, there is an entire episode, in fact, it's the first episode that's dedicated to this goofball, the recruiter. This guy had some amazing scenes, him just giving the choice between bread and lottery tickets before the poor people, and then stamping the bread in front of them, and not to mention the rock, paper, scissors Russian roulette game that he played between those two guys. That was insane. And can we just talk about how badass Gihon is in this entire show? Bro went from a wimp in the first season to being an absolute unit in the second season. This character Inho, aka the front man, became a mysterious background character who you're kind of rooting against in the first season to one of the most compelling, badass characters in the entire second season. Like, this guy I loved to hate by the end of it. I won't lie, even though I didn't root for some of the side characters like I did in season 1, they were still pretty funny. Like, I'm not even kidding with this, by the way. This guy right here, his name is Thanos. He's a rapper, and he literally painted his fingers with the Infinity Stones. This is real. This is a real character. And to be honest, I think the pacing was a bit all over the place with this season. You got the first 2 episodes that's pretty slow, building up to everything. And then you also got this other subplot that's happening alongside the games where these guys are trying to find the island. I'm not gonna lie, that like slowed the pacing way down. I was just not interested at all in this subplot. And whilst the games in this season really did put me on the edge of my seat, I still think they weren't as creative as or fun as the previous season where, you know, we had different types of games. You know, we had the cookie game, we had tug of war. This season, you know, we have Mingle, we have the 6-legged race with mini games. It was kind of, that second game was almost just like putting like a bunch of games together because I feel like they're kind of running out of ideas. And lastly, yeah, this does feel like a part 1 of a part 2. I mean, this season was literally filmed back to back with season 3, and we're getting season 3 next year, so it's not a long wait, but still that cliffhanger, man, it definitely doesn't feel like a full cohesive season. It definitely feels like we have to wait for the next season. I can still kind of forgive it, and to be fair, this isn't going to be a full review because in a way, I have to wait for season 3 to see how the whole story comes out. But if I was to judge it based off this season alone, it doesn't feel complete. But that doesn't mean it isn't compelling. And I think Squid Game Season 2 is pretty great still.